Do you want to know how to brew with the new Aeropress Go? I'm going to show you how to do it today on FrenchPressCoffee.com. All right, now before I launch into this, I know critics, I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to yell at me as I do this, but Brian, you need to measure with a scale. You got to measure your coffee with a scale. I know, don't worry, I know, but let me tell you, if you're in the mountains making coffee, you're not going to have a scale, okay? So we're going to talk about brewing with the Aeropress Go based on the instructions that came with it and using the tools that come with it. So there's not a scale that comes with it. So we're going to use the scoop, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be measuring. I promise it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this together. We'll work through it. It'll be all right. So now I'm going to put one more disclaimer there. I like to use the inversion method when I brew with my Aeropress, and I have been using my Aeropress for a long time. And if you don't know what the inversion method is, you might want to check out, again, our videos here on FrenchPressCoffee.com. But I'm going to show you how they suggest doing it with the Aeropress Go's instructions. So let's do it with everything we have in the box, which is right here. Of course, you're not going to have a kettle and a grinder and etc. with your Aeropress Go. That goes without saying. Okay, let's do it. If you were on the go, you could use a hand grinder, potentially. That's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what's better or worse. You do what works for you. But we're doing today the settings that we know work. We're using the Baratza Virtuoso, and the setting that is recommended for the Aeropress is the 12 setting. So we're going to do that. 1 scoop of beans. And let's grind. Boom, there you go. Okay, so we've got our coffee. And again, if you were on the go, you could probably potentially just carry some ground coffee with you, which is usually what I end up doing. Or I do have a hand grinder with me. Kind of all depends. So, going by the instructions for the Aeropress Go, what we're told to do is, of course, we need to place, and make sure you do this, I'm just going to say this real quick, make sure you put a paper filter into the filter holder first, guys, because I can tell you from experience that I have actually many times forgotten to do that, and it just makes this soupy coffee mess. It's not great. Now I'm using the handy little filter holder that came with the Aeropress Go, which you could carry your filters in. I'm going to pop one of those in and then put that there. And like I say, make sure you do that. I've forgotten and it just gets ugly. All right, now that we've done that, we're going to pop the Aeropress Go on top of the handy mug that comes with it. I'm actually going to use the silicone that came with the mug to kind of keep it from slipping around a little bit. So now we could use our scoop, but we don't need to because we ground exactly as much coffee as we need. Remember, we just put 1 scoop in there. So we're just going to take what we have and we're going to pour it right in. Boom. Level it out, shake it a little bit, get it level. Before I add water, we're going to talk about the 1, 2, and 3 marks on the Aeropress Go because these are going to help you to make coffee while you're on the go. Going by the instructions, what we're told to do is, if we want to make espresso style coffee, we're going to add water up into the number 1 mark, and then we're going to use our handy foldable stirrer to stir for about 10 seconds. Then we're going to let it brew for about 1 minute, and then we'll plunge down. That'll give us espresso style coffee. If we would like to make an americano or American style coffee, we're going to add water up into about the 3 mark. And again, give it a little stir, give it about a minute, and then plunge down. And then there's a third option, which I found interesting in the instructions for the Aeropress Go, which is how to make a latte. This I don't remember from the original Aeropress. And that basically says to add some milk to your coffee. So you could add about as much or as little as you necessarily wanted. Now the question, of course, is where's the foam? There's not going to be any. I'm sorry, guys. But if you want to make a quick latte and do it all in one fell swoop, sure. Add some milk to the water and your coffee that you have added and then plunge the whole thing down. I would probably add milk afterwards, but again, it's up to you. So if you want to do that, you could do that. We're just going to make coffee today. So with all that said, we're going to make an Americano. So we're going to pour, hit up just about that number 3 right there. All right. And then we'll stir. And then through the magic of television, we're going to let this go for 1 minute. Now the thing to keep in mind is when you're not using the inversion method, which in other words is doing all of this upside down, is that your coffee is going to drip down a little bit. So that's kind of a slow burn process right there for brewing. So after a little bit, about 1 minute, you're going to notice that I've already got not much that I'm going to plunge down here. But plunging is going to get every little ounce that I really can out of the flavor of the coffee here. So we're going to just put our plunger on the top and then press down. And you'll press until you hear the hiss and you reach just about the end right there. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's not really a way to mess this up, I will say. I like to give it a little bit of a shake just to get some of the drips off and then flip her upside down really quickly because otherwise you might get a little bit of coffee everywhere. And there you go. That's your cup of coffee using the Aeropress Go. And yeah, it's pretty great. I mean, I really like brewing with an Aeropress. I love the flavor of it. And let's just pour from the handy mug here and show you what we've got. It's pretty good. It might be a little light for some people's taste, but that is where the inversion method is going to be really useful. We wanted to show you how you would do this using the instructions that came with the Aeropress Go, and it definitely still yields a good cup of coffee, but if you want to tweak your cup of Aeropress coffee, then you want to spend a little time playing around, try the inversion method, play around with your volumes, things like that a little bit. Cleanup, by the way, is real easy to do. Pop off that filter cap and then just press into the garbage. Boom, you're good. Wash this off. I do this literally every day, and it's super quick and easy, and it's a great way to get a cup of coffee really fast. So there you have it, everyone. What's my bottom line with the Aeropress Go? It's super easy to use. I've been wondering, as I've said this in a couple of videos now, I've been wondering when there's going to be a new Aeropress, and here it is. And it's a really cool portable way to make a really good cup of coffee. If you're like me and you're on the road a lot, you're in hotel rooms, if you've had a lot of hotel room coffee, it's not great, guys. It's just not usually great. And I like to carry my Aeropress with me, and this is even easier than the original Aeropress because it takes up about that much space in a bag. Carry a little coffee with you, boom. So my bottom line, I love it. I really love what the Aeropress does. And like I say, you can tweak your brew a little bit. So play around with it. If you have questions, comments, if you want to know more, hit us up in the comments of the video. Make sure to check us out at FrenchPressCoffee.com. And as always, everyone, I'm Brian with FrenchPressCoffee.com. I'll see you next time, and take care.
So did you like that video? If so, go ahead and give us a like. And while you're at it, subscribe to our channel. It's okay, I'll wait. Go on. It's all right. Awesome, great. Thank you so much. And now for a great coffee quote. Remember that a yawn is actually just a silent scream for coffee.